Hello, I'm User-Friendly's assistant, and in this video we're talking more about this Gamepad Max for Live device I've been working on. Just really quickly, it's basically I'm using a PS5 controller. I think other controllers such as the Xbox and PS4 controller, all that stuff should work. If you had something like an operator in here, you could just map whatever you wanted to, The buttons are all sending out MIDI notes. So each one sends out a different MIDI note. I've gotten some questions about, how you could change those notes around or, whatever else. The way that I'm going to do it most of the time is, I wouldn't want to actually just play an instrument using these as notes. They're more, I don't really think of them like notes. I think of them more as just triggers and another way to sort of map something. So suppose you have that trigger. You have the map button, but you also have this MIDI note at your disposal. Same thing down here, D1. That's the MIDI note it's sending out. And say we wanted only this operator to happen just on that D note, not on all these other ones. You could just group it and then tie it just to D1. Now it's only going to happen on that note, and then from there you could just put a pitch in and sort of move it around wherever you wanted. Maybe turn scale on and map a joystick to it. From there, we could do things like chords. So we'll bring in a drum rack, and these notes that are on the gamepad kind of correspond with what's in drum rack. So you can kind of see that they're all there, whatever. Put the operator back on D1. Now if I wanted to do a chord, it would be as simple as just bringing a chord thing in. Turn scale on and ta-da. So from there, obviously just one chord would kind of get a little boring. So here is how I go about doing chord changes. A chord and a pitch. So the pitch can be for kind of moving the chord around if you wanted to keep the chord the same, and then you could sort of change the notes per chord. I usually do 4 chords and then map these on-off buttons to macros like that. And then I generally go all the way up to, with just about any macro, I generally go all the way up to the drum rack level, just so that way if, I wanted to tie something else to a particular chord, I could. So say when chord 3 happens, a reverb turns on or whatever else. Over here on the gamepad side, the D-pads, they're going to send out a MIDI note, but then also there is a momentary trigger that you can map here. Then on the bottom, that's going to be a gate. It's kind of out of the way and doesn't make really, a lot of sense that it's down there, but I added it as an afterthought specifically for this purpose of doing chord changes, and just kind of left it down there because it's fine. So that will map each one of those to these macros. So now when I hit the D-pads, we get the different chord out of this group of chords up here. So now we can go through and kind of change them however we want. Maybe this one will go back up and do, I don't know, something like that. Actually, I'm going to turn the scale on for each of these pitches. That'll be better. So 0, this one we're going down, this one we're going up, and this one will go all the way down, and maybe do 6, I don't know. Get rid of it on that. Don't want that. I'm going to go. You can hear it too, right? Yes. Yeah. So now you could do another pad for the bass note or something, but I'm already bad enough at playing it that it's easier for me if I just kind of put the bass note in with the chord. So I'm going to group all of this, the operator and the 4 different chords, come over here and duplicate it again. Now we can rename this just to hopefully keep this from getting too confusing. And then on the bass side, all I'm going to do is just delete the chord because the pitch should be our root note. Oops. So we'll see. Then drop the transpose here. Cool. So that's the main thing. This is not only useful for chords, but if you think about it, you know, regardless of what you were doing, if you just had a bunch of different instruments you wanted to choose from, you could sort of tie them in with this D-pad sort of selection deal. And just to kind of hear it in context, do a kick drum and a snare and a hat. And obviously a drum bus on everything. Too loud. I'm going to put a reverb on the chord and map the decay maybe to this trigger here, and then come in and do that so it's not quite so. I sort of want that to slide, so I'm going to do that real quick. Maybe yeah, I can do that. Transpose. And what? Maybe 2 octaves? So 0 and 24. And map this to that, we'll see. yeah, whatever. On the hat, I'm going to group that and add perhaps meld. Do that. Maybe also a reverb. Instead of reverb, actually, let's do echo. Will I be able to? I mean, I can't really even play in time as it is. So if anything, I would think a delay would help me a little bit. Maybe not. Is there effects built into this thing? No. All right. So we have the chords being sort of quantized with the master scale thing. Over here on meld, I want it to be C major, but I don't necessarily want the full scale. So this is kind of a reason that they still have the scale thing even as an option in here. So do, where is it? Major pentatonic. And then just a random. So I'm going to have the hat constantly happening, but the more I find that the more often that you trigger just a randomly selected note like this, the more obvious it becomes that it's literally just randomly, being selected. It's kind of obvious anyway, but it becomes even more obvious if it happens a lot. So I'm going to group this and switch this random to bidirectional. Do I want to put the chance at 100 maybe? And then, where is it? You can see it's kind of jumping over the course of 2 octaves. I'm just going to constrain it so it only triggers on the top side of that. So now it's almost like 50% less of the time. And we could even do 24 choices. So now it's a quarter of the time. Maybe. No, I don't like the delay. Yeah, something like that. I'm not doing the delay. I don't like the delay. It's hard to play with. I'm already bad at keeping time with it. I'm just doing a reverb and it'll be fine. I'm just going to distort all of this anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we really haven't used, I don't know why those buttons are sticking like that. We really haven't used much yet at all, especially on the mapping side. In fact, we're not even using this. That was for the beginning demonstration thing. I can't get that. I just need a quantizer for my fingers. Ned Rush, is there a way that I can quantize these things so that they're in time, so that I can just randomly push buttons and it'll still work? Actually, that would be something right there, is to add maybe either on one of these buttons or on the joystick or something like that to this choices knob here on the lead. So that way when you really wanted to sort of have it happen, you know, quite a bit more often, and then when you wanted to go back to the sparse thing, it would go back up. I'm not doing that, but yeah. So all this stuff that I've just done is kind of something more like where I would have glitch, 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 another glitch thing there, another glitch thing there, and maybe on the triggers and on the buttons, but then be able to sort of bring a chord in for a second and then go back to the glitch. Crazy break beat, but then stop and give you a break, and then back into the crazy glitch stuff again, and then another break with a lead, and really ambient and moody, and then back to the glitch, and just kind of do that for, you know, about 30 seconds to a minute until I get bored, but it's enough to sort of get an Instagram video or something. And then I delete the entire patch and, you know, probably don't do anything with it ever again. So that's usually how this works. Either way, that's all that, you know, that I have for this video. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.